This story comes to us from ksat.com. Now, this story comes to us from what I used to call Bexar County, but it's Bexar County, Texas. This one was brought to my attention by someone who watches my videos. Said, "Hey, have you heard about this one?" And so I looked it up. But in his first public comments since being cleared of criminal wrongdoing in the shooting death of a man in Elmendorf in 2020, Bexar County Sheriff's Deputy Brandon Moran said Thursday his brief indictment for manslaughter had a significant emotional impact on him and his family. Well, think about the guy who got shot in Elmendorf. Think about him and his family. Well, he's dead, but his family. Moran said, "I don't even know how to describe it. I mean, it was probably one of the worst weeks that I've ever had to go through stress-wise." Last week, Moran was charged with manslaughter after a grand jury determined he recklessly caused the death of Jesus Garcia in March of 2020 after the deputy responded to a mobile home in the 17,000 block of Blue Horizon for domestic disturbance. According to officials, Garcia was using a potentially deadly weapon, a screwdriver, to pin his wife to the ground when Moran came to the home. Moran then fired a service weapon at Garcia, killing him, according to officials. Now, last week's indictment, which came 2 years after the shooting and a year and a half after Moran had been cleared to return to duty by Bexar County Sheriff's Office, stunned the deputy. The indictment, he was like, "What?" Who was on duty and in the process of booking a suspect when he learned a warrant had been issued for his arrest. He was booking a guy and they came up and said, "Dude, you got a warrant for your arrest." "Yeah, he's being booked." "No, you." "Me?" Moran, who became the first peace officer in Bexar County in a generation to be indicted for shooting while on duty, said it was stressful, very stressful. By Friday, however, the second-degree felony charge against Moran had been dismissed by Bexar County District Attorney Joe Gonzalez, who claimed in a lengthy written statement that he did not believe his office could prove the case against Moran beyond a reasonable doubt. Of course, Bexar County is not ever going to... Are you kidding me? Bexar County? Convict a deputy? And what's up with these guys in Bexar County named Joe? But Moran's attorney, Nico LaHood, what a name, said Thursday it was shameful the case was even presented to a grand jury and that a large number of use of force experts had already reached out to testify within days of Moran being charged. Now, Nico LaHood said when Brandon entered the scene, Garcia was mounted on his wife with a screwdriver in his hand after being commanded multiple times to let her go. LaHood and several other attorneys have said the labeling of Moran's indictment, which starts with count 2, likely indicates the DA's office presented evidence to possibly indict Moran for murder. Count 1 would be murder. He added that if the manslaughter case had moved forward to trial, it would have been had a chilling effect on law enforcement officers throughout the county. Yeah, you don't want Bexar County officers, not being able to do their job. I'll close with the Bexar County District Attorney Joe Gonzalez's statement. Consistent with our obligation to only prosecute cases we can prove, we decided we could not go forward for 2 reasons. First, Texas law allows police to use lethal force to defend, to prevent, or stop an aggravated kidnapping. In this case, Deputy Moran discovered Jesus Garcia in possession of a potentially lethal weapon while also pinning his wife on the ground and refusing to let her go. We would have to disprove that this defense applied beyond a reasonable doubt. We do not believe we can do that. We may quarrel with the law, but it's the law. Second, under Texas law, we would also have to disprove that Deputy Moran acted to defend Miss Garcia's life. Given that Mr. Garcia had a potentially lethal weapon and had his wife essentially held hostage, we do not believe we could make this showing beyond a reasonable doubt. So he's basically saying, look, we couldn't prove that the cop, was not defending Miss Garcia's life. and we couldn't prove that he was not preventing a possible killing. If that makes sense. But I don't know. Maybe the cop was right. Who knows? But someone brought this to my attention. I wanted to bring it up because it is Bexar County out of San Antonio. Now, Ananda Tomas, executive director of the San Antonio Public Safety Reform Group Act 4 San Antonio, applauded the grand jury's decision, only to experience extreme disappointment after learning of the dismissal days later. Ananda Tomas says the first step in these kinds of cases is just to get the grand jury to indict. And we finally get an indictment after we haven't seen this for so many other cases. I think that that's something that we need to hang on to give us a little bit of hope and encouragement. But it's also made it clear that the next step is to make sure we have a strong district attorney that can prosecute these cases to at least give the family their day in court. DA Gonzalez's decision ignored the concerns of the grand jury, says Tomas. Who knows, right? Bexar County, well, the police dodged another one, and Bexar County marches on.